Hello, I would like to share with you some of my reflections and comments on the papal encyclical Laudatory Si. The papal encyclical, written in 2015, has the potential to be a game changer. Pope Francis pens his letter to all the citizens of Earth and appeals for us all to consider what it means to be truly human. This makes it a Catholic document. That is, Catholic with a small c, for it is a universal document. It is a planetary document. On close reading of the papal letter, it is clear that the contents, in the majority, is intended for all. Most of the text is directed to the general citizens of Earth. A significantly small portion addresses matters particular to Christians and to those who subscribe to Catholicism. Pope Francis exhorts all who live on our common earth to, firstly, learn how to live wisely, secondly, to think deeply, and thirdly, to love generously. His letter offers some prompts for how this learning might begin. Francis refers to the need for individuals and collectives within society to critique our present priorities and trends in the light of the effects these have on people's lives. He points to technology. He asks us to question the level of intimacy within our relationships. That is, human-to-human relationships. Do they go beyond the superficiality so often characterised by social media? Our human-to-creation relationships. He speaks of the desirability of physical contact with nature. And he asks us to reflect on the long-term effects of being part of a throwaway culture. We see this evidenced in the accumulation of rubbish and dumps and filth. A starting point is the cultivation of hope, sensed through satisfaction we might gain by doing small things as individuals, as groups and communities. Things like recycling, making conscious choices around modes of transport and our purchases. We're invited to have an eye and a heart for development and to care for the abandoned of the world. By living up to the Pope's expectations, people of privilege, such as myself, will seek to assist the less fortunate and will support genuine projects and initiatives. We're asked to think about reclaiming the place of art and culture and to adopt an increasingly simple lifestyle, one which the Pope sees as living with mindfulness and gratitude, one which gives us time to stop and appreciate the small things. Pope Francis reminds Christians as well as Catholics to honour their duty towards nature, to honour their duty towards the Creator, and to consider one's sins against the environment. This is faith. Believers must live in a way that is consonant with this faith. That is, through a singular life with a singular mode of living. A life in which faith and action are fully aligned. This requires ongoing ecological conversion and attention to the mystical connection between God and all beings. Ecological conversion will be expressed in part through the development of global solidarity. Laudatory Si has the potential to be a subversive document. It calls for the citizens of the earth to overlook government and to overlook national boundaries. It calls for us to disregard religious and cultural divides, so that we might move towards unity through concern for our common home. This is not a vision of singularity, but a vision of plurality. For the Pope writes, "There is no uniform recipe. There is no one path to a solution." Thus, he calls for a new synthesis and comprehensive integral solutions. Laudatory Si is a political document which addresses itself to structural politics, and to citizens. Strong statements such as, unless citizens control political power, national, regional and municipal, it will not be possible to control damage to the environment. This is the stuff of revolutions. Pope Francis instructs citizens against being silent witnesses to the terrible injustices. He urges change through processes, not through power. And the Pontiff recognises that not everyone is called to engage directly in political life. Society is also enriched by a countless array of organisations which work to promote the common good and to defend the environment. So there is a niche for everyone to be active in building a better world. Citizens are called to critique leadership at all levels. Francis calls out governments and industry leaders because of their history of weak responses. Laudatory Si calls for far-sighted leaders, for solutions, and for those who are leading to be cognizant of future generations. Leaders must have unwavering commitment in order to usher in real change. Francis tells us the time has come to accept decreased growth in some parts of the world in order to provide resources for other parts to experience healthy growth. This is a direct challenge to those who live in the some parts of the world to whom the Pontiff is referring. We are to redefine our notion of progress. This is potential fodder for revolution and upheaval. Individuals are challenged to question the logic which underlies the present-day culture, to rethink processes in their entirety, to form new habits of a radically new order. Laudatory Si is a bold and potent letter indeed. Let's hope that the game does change. Let's hope that humankind is capable of learning how to live wisely, to think deeply, and to love generously. Thank you.